What up, guys? Welcome back to Almost Functional. We're going to get into the Imperial Knights Index now. I'm just going to roll right into it. They have the Imperial Knights Army rules right here. So they have Cold Chivalric. If your army faction is Imperial Knights, at the end of the Read Mission objective step, you must select one of the oaths below to be active for your army. Models from your army with this ability gain the associated oath ability, and you gain the associated deed to complete. If at the start of any of your command phases your selected oath's deed is completed, your army becomes honored for the rest of the battle and you gain 3 CP. You can only gain CP in this way once per battle. So there's only two. So Lalo the Tyrant, the ability is each time this model is selected to shoot or fight, reroll a hit roll of 1 and reroll a wound roll of 1. And then if you kill the enemy's warlord, you get 3 CP. Then Reclaim the Realm. Add 1 to this model's move characteristic and add 1 to advance the charge rolls made for this model. And then the deed is, this deed is completed if you control one or more objective markers in your opponent's deployment zone. So both of these deeds probably are going to happen early game, but they don't unlock rules, they unlock CP, so late game, getting that extra influx of CPs in tight games will be really useful. Army rules just okay. We'll see what their detachment rules is. These are okay. They're not like super great. Then Bondsman ability. Some Questoris models have a Bondsman ability tagged with the word Bondsman. In your command phase, one or more of models from your army with a Bondsman ability can use that ability. For each one that does, select one friendly armature model within 12 of that model. And you can only give them one Bondsman ability. You can't like give them from different models. And then until the start of your next command phase, both those models, the model that used its Bondsman ability and the armature model you just selected, are affected by the Bondsman ability. Alright, so that ability will affect the big knight and the little knight they give it to. And then each time a model with this ability makes a normal advance or fall back move, it can move over models, excluding Titanic models and terrain features 4 inches or less. So just your big knights can walk over anything but basically other Titanic. If you want to add them to other Imperium detachments, you still can. As a free blade, you can take one big knight or 3 little knights. And then their detachment rule is all Imperial Knight models from your army have a Feel No Pain 6+ ability. If your army is honored, they have a 5+ ability, Feel No Pain. 6+ doesn't seem like a lot, but Knights have so many wounds that is very helpful for them. And if you get honored, a 5+ on a 22 wound model is very annoying, just that extra amount to dig through. Then we got their enhancements. We have Revered Knight, which is Imperial Knight only. While a friendly Imperial Knight model is within 6 inches of the bearer, improve that model's leadership characteristic by 1. If your army is honored, increase the range of this aura by 12, or to 12. So 6 inches, +1 leadership. I guess that's good, because knights at half wounds are going to have to take battle shock tests, so that's fine. Imperial Knight only. The bearer has the Deep Strike ability. Once per battle at the end of your opponent's turn, if the bearer is not within engagement range of any enemy units, it can fade away. If it does, remove it from the battlefield, then a reinforcement step to your subsequent movement phase. Set it up anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 away from all enemy models. If the battle ends, the bearer is destroyed. Alright, so you gain Deep Strike, and you can go off the table and come back if you're not within engagement range. That's really nice, because now you can just put one in Deep Strike to begin with and rapid ingress at the end of your opponent's turn somewhere. Alright, I really like the Mysterious Guardian. We'll see how many points that is, but I think you take that almost every time. Mythic Hero, Questoris model with the Bondsman ability only. Each time a bearer uses its Bondsman ability, you can select one additional friendly armature model within 12 that is not already affected by Bondsman ability. Alright, so basically just give one, instead of 1 armature, you can do it to 2. Then Banner of Macarius Triumphant. If you control an objective marker at the end of your command phase and the bear is within range, that objective reminds us. Basically, you can give knights sticky objectives. That's really nice. So I like both of these. And then they get a 5th one. Questoris model only. Each time attacks allocated to the bear or worse than armor penetration characteristics attack by 1. Alright, that's not bad. Making knights harder to kill. Like, their limited model count, you need to keep them alive. But that's only on the medium-sized knights, I believe, Questoris is. But Guardian and Banner, really nice. Alright, then we got other strats. Shoulder the Burden is in your command phase, 1 Imperial Knight model. Until the start of your next command phase, improve his move, toughness, save, leadership, and objective control by 1. And each time you make an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. You can only use this once per battle. If your army is honored, you can use the stratagem one additional time. Alright, so you can use it once early, and if you do complete your deed, you'll be able to use it a second time. We get Thunder Stomp, which is the fight phase for one Imperial Knight model. Until the end of the phase, your model cannot target monsters or vehicle units, but all melee weapons equipped by your model have the Devastating Wounds ability. Alright, so this only works against little stuff, but basically give your attacks devastating wounds. And it's all their melee weapons, not just their feet, so that's nice. And then rotate ion shields in your opponent's shooting phase. One unit, give them a 4 invul. Alright. Squire's Duty, your shooting phase or start of the fight phase. 2 or more armature models from your army and 1 enemy unit that is an eligible target for those armatures. Till the end of the phase, improve strength and armor penetration of their weapons. If your army is honored until the end of the phase, add 1 to the damage. Alright, so until this phase, so basically improve the strength and armor characteristics of those armatures by 1. And if your army is honored until the end of the phase, you add 1 to the damage as well. This doesn't specifically say they have to target the unit that this is on. The other few we've seen that do something like this say that, so I'm assuming that will be fixed and cleaned up. But currently they're not restricted to shooting that target, but assume that you're going to be. Trophy claim, your shooting phase or fight phase. 1 Imperial Knight model from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase, and 1 enemy vehicle or monster. Till the end of the phase, each time your model makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, add 1 to the wound roll. If your model destroys that enemy unit this phase, you gain 1 CP. But if your model does not destroy that enemy unit this phase, you cannot use this stratagem again for the rest of the battle. So this is add 1 to wound against a specific vehicle or monster. Because this one definitely doesn't say that. This one does. That one I'm pretty sure will be cleaned up. But yeah, this is really nice, especially since some of their melt does and stuff. Like, we'll see if they got some of the melta guns and stuff got down to strength 9 like they did everywhere else. Then you have Valiant Last Stand in your fight phase. 1 knight model from your army that was just destroyed is eligible to fight but has not fought. Before rolling to see if this model deals any mortal wounds as a result of its deadly demise ability, it can fight. When doing so, it is assumed to have 1 wound remaining, or all of its wounds remaining if you're honored. So this you do before blowing up. So it used to be, and you can't do this on Sir Hector, but it used to be you'd see if they blew up, and if they did, you couldn't use the strat. Now you use the strat before finding out if they blow up. So that's really nice. That's a good strat. Then they roll us into the Helvrin. He has a T10, 12 wounds, OC 8, armature autocannons, 4 attacks, strength 9, neg 1, 3 damage. The Melta gun, Melta 2, 1 attack, strength 9, neg 4, d6. Yeah, so if he's really trying to kill big monsters, you pop that strat for +1 wound on him, and that Melta is much more efficient. This is a heavy stubbers, rapid fire 3 shots, strength 4, neg 1, 1 damage, and then armored feet are just strength 6, 1 damage. He has the Skyfire protocol, which is while this model is either wholly within your deployment zone or within range of an objective marker, he gets anti-fly 2 on his autocannons. So he doesn't just get it all the time. It has to be in your deployment zone or while you're within range of an objective. That's an interesting stipulation to put on there. And unit composition is just 1 Helvrin. Alright, so it doesn't look like you're taking them in squads of 3 anymore. You just take 1. They're just their individual little thing. Warglaive, same profile up here. Meltagun, heavy stubber, and then he gets the thermal spear, which is Melta 4, 2 attacks, strength 12, neg 4, d6 damage. These are the ones you probably hunt big stuff with and put that +1 because it helps their Meltagun and then makes the thermal spill really good. Then they got the chain cleaver, which has a strike and a sweep, 4 attacks to 8, strength 10 to 8, neg 3 AP, neg 2 AP, 3 damage, 1 damage. And then each time they make a charge until the end of the turn, their melee has sustained hits 1. That's really nice. Yep, but still just 1 model units for them. Then they give us the Paladin. He's T12, 22 wounds, OC 10. Gets the Icarus autocannons, anti-fly 2, twin linked, 3 attack, strength 7, neg 1, 2 damage. Iron Storm missile pod, blast indirect, d6 plus 1, strength 5, AP0, 1 damage. Then a Meltagun, heavy stubber. Rapid fire battle cannon is blast, rapid fire d6 plus 3, 72 inches, d6 plus 3, but within 36 it's going to be 2d6 plus 6, so that's really nice. Strength 10, neg 1, 3 damage. Storm Spear Rocket Pod, 3 attacks, strength 8, neg 2, d6 damage. He's got the Reaper Chainsword, which is strike and sweep. 4 attacks goes to 12, 14 strength goes to 9, neg 4 to neg 3, 6 damage to 2. And then the Thunder Strike Gauntlet has strike and sweep, 4 attacks to 8, strength 20 to strength 10, neg 3 to neg 2, damage 8 to damage 3. So I mean, that's what do you expect from a big knight, chainsword, and fist. They're going to hit hard. And then while this model is affected by, this is his bondsman ability. While it's affected by this ability, weapons have lethal hit and lance. So that's really nice, and that's he can give out to armigers, or 2 if you do the strat. Once per phase, you can reroll 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll, or 1 saving throw made for this model. That's nice. He's got so many attacks, you probably save that for the saving throw if your opponent has stuff to hurt you, because you need to keep these guys alive. Only has the 5-up invul, but you got the rotate if you need it. 1 model unit, that's not surprising. Same stats up here. Just the thermal cannon is what he gets. 24 inches, 2d3. Strength 12, neg 4, d6 damage. But it's melt to 6, so within 12 it's d6 plus 6, and he has blast. Same combat weapons. And then his bondsman ability is, while a model is affected by this ability, you can reroll advanced rolls made for this model, and its ranged weapons have assault. Alright, so you can advance and shoot with this, and you can put that on the armigers. And each time this model makes a ranged attack against the closest eligible target, add 1 to hit. Alright, so plus 1 to hit against the closest target. That's not bad, that's pretty nice. Then you got the Gallant, this is your combat guy. Same stat up here, or does he have extra movement? Yeah, he has extra movement. He has 2 extra movement, so he moves 12. All this is the same. All this is the same, except he gets to take both. His bondsman ability is, while this model is affected by this ability, you can reroll charge rolls made for that model, and each time a model makes a melee attack, you can reroll a hit roll. So reroll charges and reroll hit in combat. That's great for him. Unlike Chaos, you don't get the dedicated pure combat armigers, but they do have a decent little combat weapon, so putting this on them is fine, but this really just buffs him really well. And then each time a melee attack targets this model, he's -1 to hit. Oh, that's really nice. He's already going to be hard to wound for most stuff. So that's the knight. Gallant looks nice. Then here's your Warden. This is your Gatling Cannon guy. Same profile as the other ones up there. Got the Avenger Gatling Cannon. 18 shots, strength 6, neg 2, 2 damage. Rest of this looks the same. That's the same. His bondsman ability, while a model is affected by this ability, each time attack is allocated to that model, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. That's nice. And each time this model makes a ranged attack that targets an enemy unit, excluding monster vehicles, the attack has devastating wounds. Alright, so he can give -1 damage to himself and some of the little armigers, and then he himself gets devastating wounds against anything that's not monsters or vehicles. And he's got 18 shots here, so that's really, really nice. Then we got the Knight Crusader. He's same profile here. Same guns. It's just he has the option of taking 2 guns. I don't believe. Let's see. We'll get to that. While he's affected by this ability, each time that model makes a ranged attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Alright, so +1 to hit for the shooting knight's great. And if he remains stationary, he gets sustained hits 1. That's really cool. He comes with the Gatling Cannon and the Thermal Cannon. The Thermal Cannon can be replaced with the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon. Yeah, so he can't double up on the weapons, which I believe Chaos can, or at least they could before. So he can only take 1 of each. He gets the Gatling Cannon, and he needs to take the Thermal or the Battle Cannon. But still, that's a lot of shots. Very nice. Then we get the Preceptor. Looks like the same profile here. He gets the Las Impulsor, which has 2 versions, high intensity and low intensity. Both are blast. 24 to 36 inch range, d6 to 2d6 shots, strength 14 to strength 7, neg 3 to neg 1, 4 damage to 2 damage. Then he has his multi-laser, which is 4 attacks, strength 6, AP0, 1 damage. Then same combat weapons, and then his bondsman ability is while a model is affected by this ability, improve that model's leadership characteristic by 1 and improve the model's OC by 2. That's nice. And at the start of the battle, select one unit from your opponent's army. Each time this model makes an attack that targets that unit, you reroll hit roll. Alright, so he picks one enemy unit and he gets to reroll hits against it for the whole battle. Nice. Alright, then we get the Castellan. T13, 24 wounds. So he's got the Plasma Detonator, which is Blast, and then Supercharge adds Hazardous. 48 inches, D6 plus 3 shots, BS3. Strength 8 goes to Strength 9, neg 2 to neg 3, 2 damage to 3 damage. Nice weapon. Shield Breaker Missile, or Anti-Titanic 4 and Devastating Wound, so 72-inch range. 1 shot, Strength 12, neg 6, D6 plus 1. Twin Melta, just Melta with Twin Link. Twin Siegebreaker Cannon is Blast Twin Linked. It's D6 shots, Strength 6, AP0, 1 damage. And then his Volcano Lance is Blast, 72 inches, D3 shots, Strength 18, neg 5, D6 plus 8. Alright, so that thing hurts, but it's only D3 shots. Titanic Feet, Strength 8, neg 1, 2 damage. And then he has the Ion Aegis. While the friendly armored models within 6, they get cover. And then Titan Hunter, each time a range attack made by this model is allocated to a monster vehicle, reroll a damage roll of 1. Alright, so he gets to reroll his damage rolls of 1 against monsters and vehicles. And he doesn't have a bondsman ability, but he does give cover to armigers near him. I'm assuming none of the... I guess they don't have like Questoris and whatever there was is now. He's just called a Castellan. And then we got the Valiant. Same stats up here as the other guy. He gets the Conflagration Cannon, which is Ignore Cover Torrent. 3d6 shots, Strength 8, neg 1, 2 damage. Then he gets the Thundercoil Harpoon, which is Anti-Monster and Anti-Vehicle 4, Devastating Wounds, 1 attack, Strength 24, neg 6, 12 damage, but it's only 1 shot. Well, friendly armors within 6 of him, they get cover. Alright, so same thing. And then your shooting phase, after he's shot, select one enemy unit hit, and they have to take a battle shock test. Alright, that's fine. He still lacks shots, but if he hits, he hurts. Then we got Canis Rex. Looks like he's T12, 20 the same. Looks like the same profile as the other medium-sized knights. Chainbreaker Las Impulsor has 2 versions. Both have sustained hits, 1 and blast. 24 to 36, D6 to 2d6. 14 to 7, neg 3 to neg 1, 4 damage to 2 damage. Then he's got a Chainbreaker Multi-Laser, which is sustained hits 1, 4 attack, strength 6, AP0, 1 damage. Combat weapon is Freedom's Hand, Strike and Sweep, sustained hits 1, 5 attacks to 10, strength 20 to 10, neg 3 to neg 2, damage 9 to damage 3. Then he's Legendary Freeblade, so once per turn you can target him with a strat for 0 CP, and you can, even if you did a different strat, so potentially doubling up on something like Shield Breaker, or not Shield Breaker, Rotate Ion Shields if your opponent doesn't shoot him first, if they shoot something else first. Then we got Sir Hector. So basically, when it dies, this gets out. Yeah, when Canis Rex is destroyed, he hops out. He becomes a lone operative. T3, 3 wounds. He's got a pistol, strength 5, neg 1, 2 damage. Combat weapon, strength 3, 1 damage. Nothing really cool about him other than that the knight dies, he popped out, and you got a model possibly holding an objective or doing some little secondary things or something. So it's a cool little trick, not like game breaking. Oh, and then it looks like they put the Chaos Knight rules in here. But we already did Chaos Knight, so I'm pretty sure we saw all this already on the other. Alright, so I was starting to wonder, like, it's had a lot of pages left, what was still left for Knights. Alright, so that's it for the Knights. GW, for some reason, added the Imperial Knights and Chaos status sheets, some of them together, but Knights look solid. The army rules are kind of generic. The Feel No Pain's okay, but we'll see what the points are. But I really like the data sheets on the actual models, which is, I think, will make up for the army rules being just blah, okay. You know, they're not horrible, but they're not like, wow. but the data sheets seem really solid, and the bondsman abilities you can give everybody really are nice. So they make up for not having like a set army role. You can really flavor it and pick what you want to do. But all right, that's it for Knights. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.